Owenia acidula, family Meliaceae, and I'm being bitten by an ant right now. Oh my goodness. This is one that's just coming up since the last rain. The fruit has landed there in the nice soft clay and it's germinated, and there's a new emu apple coming into the world, and it's sheltered underneath this warrior bush. Isn't that amazing?
Hello and welcome back to Curiosity Mine, and welcome back to Bush Botany, the series in which we follow Warwick Schofield through the opal fields and the landscape surrounding Lightning Ridge, New South Wales, Australia, discussing local plants and trees and their effects on the environment, and also their interactions with opal mining and the local community. In this video, we're heading out vaguely towards the 9 Mile opal field to have a look at the emu apple, a fruiting tree that has nothing to do with apples and only a little bit to do with emus.
So we've got here today the emu apple. It grows to a medium-sized tree with a black trunk, but its vegetation just looks a bit different. It's a little bit yellow, and the leaf structure is a little bit different from what we normally expect around the opal fields. We'll have a closer look at the leaves and talk a little bit about it.
The emu apple is so called because it has a reasonably large fruit, although not as big as an actual apple, and the seeds of the fruit are probably distributed in part by emus.
Okay, so here we are closer up, and these things we call leaves are really leaflets, all these little bits along here. A single leaf is just that. With all these, it's there's pinna or leaflets, and we call this peripinnate. It's got lots of little leaflets. So this is really the midrib of your original leaf, and there's the leaf base there. Quite distinct leaf base, and this are your little leaflets along one leaf. So they're a compound leaf. Is the best words to use, I guess, with its peripinnate leaflets all the way along. So that's the leaves, and that's the yellowy, quite different structure from what we normally get with the wilgas and the acacias, the various groups of plants that are adapted to the Lightning Ridge opal fields. The Gruwi stands out as being quite different. And often I'm asked by people, what's that particular plant growing near the turn-off? And I tell them it's an emu apple. Or sometimes I tell them it's a Gruwi, or a Colane, or a sour plum. And how many names do you want? Has many, many names. In fact, there's a place just west of Wanaring called Colane, C-O-L-A-N-E, name of a property, named after this very plant.
Gruwi is a word from the Gamilaraay-Uwalaraay languages for this tree, which is part of the Meliaceae family, which is also the same family as mahogany.
So what's the emu apple all about? Well, let's have a look at the fruit. So on the ground here we can see where the fruit have been falling. Some of these are last year's, and some, look, these are fresh ones from this year. They're red, juicy flesh.
Emu apples or sour plums are edible, and they may or may not be good for you, depending on what you read and whether the author of what you read is trying to sell you emu apples or not. On one hand, they're reported to contain more antioxidants than a lot of more common fruits and berries, but they're also reported to be a mild hallucinogen and maybe not very good for you at all, although I haven't been able to find any peer-reviewed papers backing up that hallucinogen fact. Many sources state that emu apple makes fantastic jam, which given its sour taste I can believe, and it's also quite well documented that emu apple or sour plum fruits taste better after they've been buried in the ground for a while. As I've said many times before, it's not recommended that you eat fruits found in the bush unless you have experience with bush foods or you have an experienced guide to help you stay safe. It can sometimes be difficult to tell plants and fruits apart, so you can be completely sure of what you're about to put into your body. And you don't want to risk eating something that you really shouldn't. So please stay safe. Best not to eat things that you aren't 100% confident about.
Okay, quite red, juicy flesh. The technical name for this type of fruit is a drupe, D-R-U-P-E, and it means it's just got a single hard seed inside, the skin on the outside, juicy flesh, and then the single seed in the centre. A little bit like the red fruit of the quandong, which also is a drupe with the red coloured skin and the fruit and the juice and the single seed in the centre. A bit like a peach or an apricot, that drupe type of fruiting structure.
Emu apples may have some therapeutic qualities. They've been used for generations by First Nations people as a topical skin treatment. They may potentially contain anti-acne chemicals, and the words anti-aging seem to get thrown around a lot on products that use the emu apple or extracts from the emu apple in their ingredients. I haven't been able to find a great deal of peer-reviewed scientific literature on that either, so bear in mind that all of those claims come from sources that have a buy this product link at the bottom of the page, so they should probably be taken with a grain of salt.
That's the emu apple, Gruwi, Colane, sour plum. I don't eat them because they're called sour plums, and who would want to do that? That's another story. So there we are.
Curiosity Mine is on Patreon. Patreon is a service which allows you to directly support your favourite creators so they can continue making content that you enjoy. I hope, like this. If you liked this video and you think Curiosity Mine deserves it, head on over to patreon.com/curiositymine or curiositymine.com/Patreon to offer your support. If you do, you'll get your name on this list of awesome people who are supporting the channel already. Thank you so much. And you will be helping Curiosity Mine to keep going. But for now, let's get back to the emu apple.
So the emu apple plant, or tree as we know it, really only occurs in western New South Wales from around Lightning Ridge and north and further west. It doesn't go further south from here but up into southern Queensland. So it's not uncommon, but most people have probably never seen one because they don't recognise it. So it's a northern inland on the sandy, red sandy soils. It's quite happy, but it will grow anywhere. And here we have it, the emu apple.
So that's the emu apple, Owenia acidula, a relatively unique tree found on the opal fields around Lightning Ridge and something to look out for in outback New South Wales and Queensland. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to check out the rest of the Bush Botany series on this channel. This video was made with the help of Warwick Schofield with support from Margaret Schofield. If you enjoyed this video, please consider subscribing to Curiosity Mine on YouTube and maybe even supporting the channel directly through Patreon. The link is in the description. And thank you for watching.